You go out there and tell others. And I said, like, yeah, I'm going to do that. So I founded a Facebook group. I did the Twitter account. I did like all these social media, which have been successful because I could do it. And I'm a person, I don't look like I can do it. But then people think, okay, if she can do it, so can I. When people say I lost 120 pounds, even if you see the comparison pictures, you still have to internalize it. You still have to believe it. And somehow people believe me. I mean, I did lose about 120 pounds, so all that is true. But
I've seen the pictures.
Yes,
it's a pretty remarkable transformation.
And so I'm not going to say it is a superpower to inspire people, but somehow I can. And then I started doing an interview with Dr. Berry. I did an interview with Dr. Tony Hampton, like just little things, trying to get my feelers out. I really always thought of myself as an introvert because I do get social anxiety when I'm in a group setting.
I can see you being a little bit introverted, just a tiny bit.
Yeah, but now the change happened. So I was invited to speak at Low Carb for Better Health. And I thought I was going to go on there on the stage. My voice was going to start being shaky. I was going to be lost for words. I was going to start sweating because that's what I do when I'm anxious. I start sweating.
Yeah.
And when that sweat runs, like nothing stops it until I cool down. And I thought, if that happens on stage, oh, what a mess. I went on stage. He said, "You are now a speaker." And so I didn't hear that part. I actually heard him say, "You are now on speaker." But he said, "You are now a speaker." So that was my first speaking engagement. And I was on stage and everything felt good about it. I saw a crowd of a little more than 300 people. I saw everyone looking at me. I started talking. I had some technical difficulties, and it just felt so good. It felt like this is what I need to do. I need to talk to people. I need to tell my story. Like there's experts like Ken Berry, Rob Sivers, Dr. Cho, like all these experts. And then there's people who need to tell their story because that's how you inspire others.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was all in the making. And then I got in contact with Florence. And Florence Christophers, she's the founder of the Cake Sugar Summit. She founded it 10 years ago, and she was looking for a co-host. I didn't even know she was looking. And she asked me. And I thought, like, how lucky am I? And now, with luck, that's a thing. People are not just lucky. And if you observe someone being lucky, you think, oh, he's always lucky. Like, but usually it is really luck. My definition is when effort meets opportunity. So I put in the effort, and then there was the opportunity, and because both matched, that's then luck.
Yeah.
I mean, us being coaches in the Dr. Berry community, that's like, you could say we are lucky, but no, that something built up to it. It just didn't fall into our laps.
No.
And that's basically the story. She asked me, I said yes. So then, who was I going to interview? And who was I going to get into the summit?
I've seen the list, and I've heard, and I've chatted with you being like, oh, look at the time. I got an interview. Bye. I've been there.
So I'm going to open the website for the Cake Sugar Summit. Maybe I can share it. I'll try.
Maybe.
This internet here, I thought it was going to be fast. It's slower than where I live, like at home. Present.
You should be able
Share
to.
Screen. Sharing screen is easiest with 2 monitors. Yeah, I know. Share screen.
She is well aware.
Yeah, I'm well aware. Now I just have to find, all right. Just a second. It's another tab. I have to like move it out of the tab so I can share it as a window. Again, present. And see, like things like this, doesn't even faze me because not everything in life works out
Go
the same
smoothly.
time. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So it is what it is. Okay, now
Yeah.
again, window.
I was
Now
just
I
like,
see
I
it.
was just glad you messaged me, was like, "Hey, can you go live?" I'm like, "Sure."
Yeah, I'm so lucky that we already did a few
So,
lives, and this is also effort because I didn't just message you on like, what live? What do you mean? So we did this before. All right.
yep,
So this is the website for the Kick Sugar Summit, Metabolic Health Edition.
sweet.
So it used to be always
It
about
is
sugar
free,
addiction.
people. It is free. Please, please sign up
Yes,
for it or share it. Share it, share, and tell people, "Hey,
yes,
go out and look
please
at
do.
it."
I see we have a few viewers. If you shared it, um, I think there's a special prize that you can get at the end of the summit. I'm not exactly sure how that works, but it does work. So here's the, I'm going to make my window a little smaller that I can still see us. All right. Kick Sugar Summit, 10th annual.
I can't see how many viewers we have anymore. I think it's something with my subscription.
No, it's, I don't know. I see it like in StreamYard. So
Can't even see it.
October 7th, it starts. So in 3 days, it's a free online event. So there's like a little video about sugar, the truth about sugar. I'm not going to play it because the last time I play it, there's music that's copyrighted and they can use it on their website, but I can't use it on YouTube. And then they're going to,
Then they'll get mad.
yeah, they're going to delete the video. So that's not worth it. This is Florence
Florence?
Christophers. She founded the Kick Sugar Summit, and then there's information about ultra processed foods. A few of the doctors talking about it.
Mhm.
I think there's not. Oh, sorry, I clicked
Yeah,
the
you're
wrong
good.
button here. Yeah. Oh, there's the. So here's this I can click. So a few quotes about what sugar does,
Mhm.
and sugar is poison. It doesn't kill you instantly, but it will, like over time.
Yep.
Oh, I think it's repeating now. So, okay, then why join our summit? Cutting edge science, practical advice, get support, then claim your free ticket.
Mhm.
We are in a metabolic health crisis and we can't afford to ignore it. Did you know what the daily cost in the US of diabetes is? Do you have
No,
any idea?
not daily, but I did it for my one of my classes last year. I was talking about the health cost of diabetes, and
Diabetes alone.
yeah, it was astronomical. Like it's in the trillions of dollars every year.
Yeah, so it is 1.3 or so billion every day. Every single day, it's 1.3 billion, and that we cannot afford. Like myself, my family,
And that's
I
just
mean,
diabetes, and that's not counting
that's
the
just diabetes.
complications. Like if you
Oh,
count
yeah,
all the
yeah, that's
complications,
also
if you
counting. It's
count the
counting the
yeah,
complications,
yeah,
the loss of income, but it's all from diabetes. So
yeah.
this is affecting the society as a whole, and this is affecting
Mhm.
everyone who's suffering from it. Will it be
Well, I
loss of
mean,
income? Come,
can you imagine? And this is something that I think about a lot as somebody who's living in the South and living in like a lot of this area is minority populations where we live. And I just think about how many of these people have diabetes. I think about how many of these groups are in dialysis for kidney failure, taking their grandparents away from because it's usually older
well, they're
minority
losing
adults.
their sight, they're losing their
Time.
limbs, they're losing
They're
time, they're
losing the
losing income,
time.
they're losing lifetime. And it's not
And it's
only
just
cutting the life short, but it's also making the life miserable. Because who wants to be
yeah.
in a wheelchair without legs and going to dialysis 3 times a week? Like, who wants to do that?
So well,
That's not
sometimes
fun.
up to 4. I've seen people do it up to 4, and it's really so sad, and it's like 20 hours a week. Can you imagine that? 20 hours a week on dialysis.
So when my doctor wanted to put me on blood pressure medication,
Mhm.
it wasn't really high. It was like elevated, like 140 over 80 or so. So slightly
Yeah.
elevated. Um, she said, like, you need to be on blood pressure medication to protect your kidneys. Oh, what, my
Yeah.
kidneys? Yeah, they're not doing well. Turns out I had stage 3A kidney disease. I had an EGFR
Wow.
59. So now I said, I'm going to try 3 more months. Just started with keto. I'm going to try 3 more months and see what
Mm.
happens. And now my EGFR, the last one, came back 105.
Amazing, and I think that that is something that we need to start, like, normalizing the fact that these chronic diseases are not actually chronic.
Yeah, it's definitely not chronic progressive unless you follow the SAD diet, standard American diet. So there's like a few reasons why you should join.
Mhm.
Um, oh yeah, here's 10.1 billion each and every day. I thought it was 1 point some billion, but yeah, it's a
Wow.
lot. Then the
It's
global
just
experts. So here
ridiculous.
they are.
Yeah,
There is Dr.
here's our
Eric Berg,
speakers, guys.
Dr. Catherine Arnston, Dr. Tro,
Mhm. Dr. Tro,
um,
if people do not know
collegian, I
Dr.
think.
Tro,
I
yeah,
know
the
him. Yes,
collegian,
he's
he is
he's a sweetheart.
he is. So here's the thing, Dr. Tro is very snarky online.
Oh yeah,
But
on
if you
Twitter.
meet him but if you meet him in person, he's really not that snarky. I do encourage people if you're in the community and you're watching this right now, you know Dr. Laura Buchanan, she works with Dr. Tro, for his group. So just FYI, go find them, go look at them. It's Dr. Tro's weight loss community. They're
Hold
online.
on a second. One
Really good
of
group of
my
people over there.
no, one of my um, uh, tabs just started playing. So I'm hearing it in the background. One moment.
I don't hear anything on my side, just FYI.
No, but I hear it on the um,
Mm.
minimize. How do I find the tab? Um,
You know, say that's like my mind. There's like 20 tabs open, they're all frozen, and I can't find where the music's coming from.
search tabs. Okay, and then there's one.
Usually on my computer, it
I got it.
shows which
I got it.
okay. I usually have a little speaker thingy that's like shows on the tab itself.
Yeah, it does, but not if you have like 100 tabs open. So that's a little and
Oh,
5 or 6 windows.
I feel
But there's
that.
a function in Edge where you can find
Feel you.
audio, like where audio is playing at the moment. And I wanted to go through that. Now I need to find the window that has the. Oh, there it is. Okay, so there's Dr. Eric Berg. He's a
Mhm,
chiropractor. He does excellent
mhm.
work. Actually, from him, I learned that if you are on medication for GERD, which is proton pump inhibitors, you need to get off. As a short-term medication, what it does, it puts the stomach acid down, and that's a temporary relief for whatever
That and
people you
H2
take it.
blockers.
Yeah,
H2 blockers do the same thing, yeah.
yeah, maybe. But I know about the proton pump inhibitor, and I was on one of
Mhm,
them. But the thing is, the swingster, which is like the muscle at the top of the
mhm.
stomach, it gets weak when the acid is low. So you lower the acid, the muscle gets weak, and then more stomach contents come up, and that's just gonna like in a circle. Um, you
Interesting.
can't get out of that. So very slowly, I started reducing the proton pump inhibitor, and then I ate more meat. And the scary thing is, when you are on proton pump inhibitors, and when your acid is low, the stomach acidity is low, you do
Mhm.
not digest meat and protein as you
Very
should.
well. Yeah.
So you get nutrient deficiencies.
Yes.
So if you are put on proton pump inhibitors within 5 or 10 years, one issue after the other will be added. So I thank him like
Yeah.
$1 million for that advice. He made it very clear. And I mean, others say too, but I heard it from him first.
Yes. Yeah.
Dr. Catherine Ernst, Dr. Tro, Dr. Bitten Johnson, she's a food addiction specialist, sugar addiction specialist. Kathy Williams, she's coaches herself, preventing type 2 diabetes and stuff. Luis, I don't know how to pronounce his
Mojica.
last name. Mojica. Okay, yeah, that's Spanish then. I've never seen him, so I'm very excited to see him for the first time. Dr. Robert Lustig, everyone knows him.
Everybody knows
And
him.
now
Yeah.
Molly Rucker, she explained how keto brains work and why they work, and a lot of like things you put on the
I've heard
market.
a lot about I have not looked into them. I
Keto
need
brain.
to.
Yeah, look, like watch her presentation, because a lot of supplements say, okay, I'm going to put lion mane in my supplement
Mhm.
because it has these benefits. But the
Yeah.
benefits happen at a certain dose. So if you don't put enough
Yeah.
of it in it, it's not going to have an effect. And she researched all the ingredients and then decided what dose has to go in them. Then they have a triple,
Mhm.
I don't know, triple checked, and so
That's
with
good.
outside labs, and it's always the best quality. I actually put it in my coffee every day. Then
Cool.
Susan
I've heard of people really liking it.
Yes, and she explained. I actually interviewed her, and she explained very well how nootropics work. Like the keto brains
Sweet.
is type of. It has MCT, line main, and oh, she's gonna hate me. I don't know the other ones, but
Yeah, she ain't gonna hate you. Nobody hates
no,
you.
no, 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 no. She's cool, and she likes my tweets on Twitter, so that's cool too. Then Susan Thompson is a neuroscientist. I've never seen her talk, so I'm excited about her talk. Dr. Vera
Mhm.
Tarman, I have seen talk on at Low Carb at Low Carb San Diego and Low Carb USA, like one of these events.
Okay.
Mike Mutual, well, he is on YouTube or Instagram like all the time. Matt Bazooki, he is an interesting
Oh,
guy.
you've got Matt Bazooki on there. My son would absolutely love that. So my son plays, he plays Bee Swarm Simulator
Mhm.
on Roblox. So it's like a
Oh,
Roblox thing,
yeah, actually,
and
that's what his father's business.
yes. So he works for his parents, and they own Roblox. So,
Yeah.
he'd be
So
really
the
interesting in that
interesting thing
interest in
is
that.
that he has suffered like a long, 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 long time from bipolar, and
Yep,
he was tried on every medication under the sun. He was every
yep,
treatment they tried, and yes, of course, they could afford it too. So they tried everything and nothing helped,
yep.
and it just spiraled out of control. He
Mhm.
did talk at COSI in Las Vegas. So that's how I
I
know.
heard that
I'm
he's
not like
I heard that he did, yeah.
I'm not like telling any secrets or any background information. I
Yeah.
didn't do his interview, but I asked him to come onto the summit, and so then he started
He's
keto, and one of
Yep.
his
We
quotes was, "When I started keto, I saw my or as I went keto, I saw my symptoms go away." He's completely symptom free. I'm not sure whether he has a few bad days or not, but this
I
is
don't
nothing
I
help.
don't know. I know that his therapist and his psychiatrist is Dr. Christopher Palmer.
Probably now that if they found him. So, yeah, Chris
Yeah.
Palmer is like, oh, I love him too.
Very
I got to talk.
closely he's working very close with the Bazookis in that,
Yeah,
um
he's a Harvard-trained
Yep,
psychiatrist, and so he
yep.
went to Low Carb for
Brain
Better
Energy
Health
is
and
his book.
Brain Energy. And I talked to him,
Mhm.
and when you sit next to him and he looks into your eyes and talks to you, everything around you goes away, and you feel like you are everything to him in the moment. I've never had that intensity in a talk. Like I felt understood, and it's maybe I do need it. I don't know. Do I need a psychiatrist?
That says
It was
no,
just
that just
super
means that
good to
he's a
talk to
really
him.
good psychiatrist. That means he's
Oh, he must
really
be.
good at what he does.
He must be. All right. So day 3, there he is, Dr.
Cool.
Ken Berry.
Yep.
He's a keynote speaker. So yeah. So as I
If you're
said, like
watching
today.
this and you don't know who we are also coaches in his community.
Yes, in the private Dr. Berry community, and actually,
Mhm.
there's a link in the description. Thinking that this was going to be an interview with Dr. Berry. Sorry about anyone who's tuning in, and hopefully we can entertain you anyway.
Yeah.
Corey Rasmussen, a scientist director with Hardy Nutritionists. I have not heard him talk yet, but I'm
Mm.
excited to hear him. Dr. Jen Unwin. Oh, she's so sweet. And I did interview her, and there were a lot of aha moments for me during the interview, which I thought was
Oh,
like,
cool.
there was, with most of the people I interviewed, I had these aha moments. But because I interviewed so many, I don't remember them all.
Will you
Joyce,
get so here's my I do have a question. If we
hmm?
sign up for this, and this is because I'll forget to ask you later. If people sign up for this, you go to, the Kick Sugar Summit website and you sign up and you're like, well, crap, I'm at Keto Palooza, so I can't watch all of this stuff. Will we be able to see the replays?
So you can see the replays anytime during the day. So you have a lot of time to see them, but on the day you're at Ketapalooza, you won't be able to see all the videos. You can pick the ones you really want to see. And then
Mhm.
there is a package, I think it's $97 at the end of the summit. You can buy that, and then you have lifetime access to the videos. And there's also like
Okay.
speaker gifts included. I think we'll get to that. Let's see.
Okay.
So Ellie Houston, I didn't talk to, but I did meet him in London. Dr. Jay Wrigley, I talked to him. His talk was about, it says there, hormonal balance in perimenopause, the impact of sugar consumption. And yes, obviously we shouldn't eat sugar. But there was also, we
Yeah.
also talked about fasting for women who are at advanced age, like myself, because I'm postmenopause. And then, so I learned a few things there. Then day 4 speakers, Jen Bazooki. And she's Matt Bazooki's mom. She's wonderful. I
Mhm.
talked to her in Las Vegas too, and I had no idea who she was. But I mean, that makes the conversation also more real, because if you sometimes you would be like starstruck by people. And if I'd
Mhm.
known who she was, I might have been. I don't know. Dr. Robert Lufkin, he follows me on Twitter. He retweets my stuff, but I have never talked to him like in person.
In person.
Yeah, Maria Emmerich, she threw bread at me. I mean, no, that was like at Ketapalooza, and she had these rolls made of like
The rolls that she makes, yeah.
yeah,
Sometimes she'll
the
throw
rolls
them
was
into the
flour
audience.
bread, and then she had a bag full, and
Yeah.
she just like flung out, and 2 hit me right in the chest, which was cool because I had one and I could give one to my neighbor. So I'm glad for that hit. She is very successful with her clients, like wildly successful.
Yep.
Then Dr. Roshani Sangani.
Mhm.
It's not Roshani, it's Roshani. Like gosh, Roshani.
Mhm.
She wrote a book about diabetes and how to treat it, how to reverse it. She's an endocrinologist. She works in India. She was one of the people
Mhm.
I interviewed. Um,
Okay.
she's and I also met her in mm, man. See, this is when you don't eat carbs. You can't remember the easiest things. The last convention I went to, low carb San Diego.
True.
Okay, I
Yeah.
went to the other one afterwards, but this was in August. Okay. So
Yeah.
Dr. Sarah Saldiva, I have not yet
Zal
seen her.
Zaldivar.
Zaldivar. Yeah, I've not seen
Yeah,
her
I
talk
follow
yet.
her on social media. She's pretty fascinating.
I think like she has to be in the summit. Then Siobhan Huggins.
Siobhan.
She's Siobhan Huggins. She's one of my it's Siobhan, right?
It's Siobhan. It's this
Siobhan?
yeah,
Oh man.
but you
Okay.
can't tell with in a German accent saying Siobhan, you can't tell really because the B and the V
I
are
hear
very
it.
close.
I hear it. I hear
But
it.
it's Siobhan, it's Gaelic.
Siobhan. Okay. So she
Gaelic
is an
is
expert.
fun.
She's an
She
expert in
really
many
is.
things. She works with Dave Feldman,
Mhm.
and
Yep.
she helps him with all the like the what is it called? Insulin,
She does
CIM.
well, she's also his business partner, I think, for,
She's his business
Own Your
on
Labs.
the lab, but she also has like a
Mhm.
whole other thing going for lipedema.
Mhm.
Because when she lost
Oh, yes.
weight, it became apparent that she had lipedema, and
Yep.
so she became an expert in that. Anything she sees and that piques her interest, she is so
She's
smart.
an expert.
She either is an expert or she becomes an expert. Like she
And
is
it's
very smart.
because she literally will see a piece of information and she'd be like, "Well, that's interesting." And so that will snowball into a lot of questions in her mind, and she's like, "Well, I have to figure out the answers." She's just one of those people that if there's a why or a how or a something, she's gonna go research it. I've spoken with her multiple times. She is so stinking smart.
That, but she's
She's
also
nice.
humble. She's kind.
Very
She,
much so.
um
She is Her and Dave Feldman are a good business match because both of them are super kind. They're
yeah,
like
and
just two of the kindest human beings.
just today I learned the difference between being nice and kind. On a
Mm,
TikTok video. Well, it's not TikTok, it was on Facebook, but it like the TikTok jingle was afterwards. So apparently nice is a mechanism of coping if you are growing up in a narcissistic family. You're being nice. So you can protect yourself. It's a protection mechanism. Being kind is something deeply rooted in
it's a
in yourself.
character.
Like people who are like have a very firm, I don't know the word, are set in their beliefs and are just set
Mhm.
in life, not financially, but they're grounded. So those people are kind, and there's a difference between being nice and being kind. I thought it was interesting.
Yep.
So then we have Candace Agnos. I've not talked to her
I
or heard her yet.
I don't know this one.
Um, changing healthcare one practitioner at a time. So that alone is what this is all about. We have to change one person at a time. If we change a healthcare worker, that will have a snowball effect because they are then going to have their patients they work with, and they can all be changed. But I
Yep.
think people like us can do that too.
Yep.
Um, then Dr. Andrew Kautnick, he is a type 1 diabetic, and he also researches type 1 diabetes. So I talked to him. That was a very interesting conversation. And you'd think like I raised a kid with type 1 diabetes and then you know everything, right? I
Mhm.
learned new stuff, obviously. And then Dr. Joan Ifland, she has a very interesting perspective on food addiction. That's a little bit like Bitten Johnson.
Oh,
She's
that
also
looks
written a
like
book.
that looks like a really good topic because I was just talking about this with, somebody, like, so her if you can read it, it's really small on my screen, but the role of shame and humiliation in addiction relapse. Somebody recently was like, "Oh, I fell off the wagon. Do I just restart?" I'm like, "Dude, you didn't
No,
stop." Like,
right.
this is not AA, guys. "Hi, Susanna." So it's like, guys, like, this you need to understand in a low carb diet, in a healthy diet, in or a healthy way of eating, guys, this is not AA, this is not Narcotics Anonymous, Alcoholics Anonymous. This isn't like "Oh, well, now you have to start your carb sobriety over. Sorry about your luck." No, 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 no. This is not how this works because there is no shame in somebody being like, "Whoops, you know what? I had a moment of weakness and I ate the bread."
Yep.
Listen, it's not a big deal. Like, "Oh, you ate some peanut butter?" Nobody cares. Nobody
She
cares.
also
Like,
talked
you know
about wellness programs and why they don't work. So I can't go into detail about
yeah.
that because that's going to be in the interview. But that was like
No,
also
but it's
super
but it's
interesting.
fascinating.
Oh, and she did
Sorry,
a
guys, I
talk
made a
with
starter batch. I'm tired today, guys. That's why I'm yawning. Go ahead.
Okay. I didn't see you
It
yawning
was a
because I'm
hard
looking
day.
at the other screen. I'm gonna
It's okay.
swoop this over. Now I can see you. She also did a talk with Brian Lenskis, and that was, I
Oh,
think, 2
really?
years ago.
Brian's pretty cool
Yes.
too. He's super
Yes,
nice.
yes. And they did a talk together where one was the patient and one was the doctor. And it went
Yep.
from, well, you should move more and eat less, to the doctor finally believing that she was doing everything she could. Or was the roles were reversed? I don't remember. That was a
Okay.
super interesting talk. It was more like a play, like a role play, where
Yeah.
then the
Oh, I
doctor
like
finally
that.
understood, oh, there is sugar addiction involved, and this is why this is not working. Because just that I'm having this conversation on Threads right away at the moment with someone who
I
says
can't
like
stand
addiction isn't.
threads.
Yeah, I am still on it because it's I just copy over the content, and sometimes people just get triggered. So the last thing they got triggered about was when I wrote that fructose by itself drives obesity, and people like
Telling you, they get
on Threads they
oh.
lost their shit. Are you
I'm
saying fruit
telling
isn't
you
healthy?
that is threads. Like if you go over you go
Oh no,
over
no, it's
Twitter, nobody
LinkedIn
really
too.
loses their minds. But
It's
if you go
LinkedIn too.
into LinkedIn,
I had one
are they trying to be
conversation
woke?
with a
Sorry.
no, well, it was the dietitians. And I had like this one meme
Oh
up
yeah,
where
well, that's
it
that's
had
because
like
they're dietitians.
pasta, rice, bread, and then I think melon and an apple, and all of these foods, breakfast cereal, I labeled like with sugar, 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 sugar,
Oh
sugar,
yeah, yeah, I've seen those posts. I love those posts.
and they lost, just about lost it because I was saying fruit wasn't healthy, which I didn't say. But the thing is, if a
Oh,
diabetic cannot metabolize glucose, they should eat less. And now I know that fructose is double, just the double damage. Something I didn't know until recently. If your intracellular glucose levels go up above a certain point, then every glucose you eat, I mean, 30% of that, up to 30% of that is transformed into fructose. So you eat an apple that has a lot of fructose, actually, more
mhm,
fructose than glucose. And then the rest of the glucose, 30% of that, when your blood sugar goes up, is also
mhm.
transformed into fructose. So fructose is something that can mostly only be metabolized by the liver.
By the
It's
liver, yeah.
it's metabolized like alcohol. It does the same thing as alcohol. It just doesn't make you lose your speech or make you like
Doesn't make you
not walk
high.
right. It doesn't make you high, but it does damage. They
Mhm.
know that it drives
At least with
obesity.
alcohol at
This
least
isn't
with
even
alcohol, you
disputed.
get a trade-off of, of the buzz, but yeah, fructose, you don't.
Well, I'm gonna say with sugar addiction, you get a trade-off too, because people would not stop eating sugar if they could. Did I
But
say
it's
that right?
almost like, it's
If,
just
if
not
you have someone,
satisfying.
if you have someone on dialysis,
Mhm.
like let's say with a foot cut off, and they are talking about above the knee, and they cannot stop eating cake,
Yeah.
how is that not food addiction? Okay, so let's go
I
through
can get behind
it.
that. Yep.
So I talked to Dr. Eflin. Then there's Dr. David Wiss and Dr. Annette
I don't know him. I'm gonna
Bosworth,
have to look him up.
Dr.
Annette
Boss,
Bosworth, Dr. Boz.
and Dr. Tabitha Barber. I have not talked to them. And it's going to look like I didn't talk to a lot of people, but I did. Martha
No,
Carlin
you
and
talked to so many.
Sherry Ann Boyle, I didn't talk to, but I talked to Tamsin Murphy. She is also with Nutrition Network. And I did the Nutrition Network Coach Practitioner course, which was like a little more than just a metabolic health practitioner. It was a
Now,
very
Nutrition
intensive,
Network, that is,
that's by Tim Noakes.
yes, yeah. So they also have a low carb, high fat for nurses, and I did
Yeah, they have all
that
kinds of
program.
courses, and then they have this coach practitioner course, which is I think a
Mhm.
3-month program with weekly Zooms, and then homework and essays, and so that was a lot of work actually, and then with a
How
test at the
expensive
end.
was that one?
Expensive. I don't know what the
That's what I
cost is right
thought.
now, but it was expensive. So I talked to her.
Well,
Then
here
Dr.
in 2 years 2 years? Yeah, here in 2 years, God willing, I'll be a nurse practitioner. And I won't need to take their coaching program.
Yes, that's right. Ah, that would be
Now
awesome.
this one I'm excited about.
Dr. Paul Mason, Julia Tulipan,
Yeah.
and Chris Irvin, I talked to all of them. And the funny thing was about Chris that I thought I mistook him for an influencer. I thought he was an influencer. But he's actually
He
a
is an
real
influencer,
yeah, now
however
too, but he is a real
Yeah.
scientist. So he knows the ins and outs.
Yes.
He knows why ketones are beneficial and protective for the brain. He knows the neurodegenerative diseases and how ketones influence them in a positive way.
Mhm.
So I was like that was like many light bulbs. Julia
Yep.
Tulipan, she's from Austria. And so
Okay.
she speaks German, and she invited me to her channel, and we had a conversation in German, which was fun because
Oh, yay.
every time I talk about the subject, it's in English.
Yeah.
So all the words, everything, I don't even have to think about it when I talk about keto, gluconeogenesis, like all these big, they're not really big words, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But in German, everything, I don't know the words they use. So that was kind of funny. And oh, I'm just getting a message. Awesome. Dr. Berry
Who'd you get a
said he
message
loves it.
from?
He says that he loves that we're doing the impromptu Q&A. So, Julia's there. She is the keto queen for the German speaking area, like Germany, Austria, Switzerland. She's the keto queen there. She's
That's
has a master's,
amazing.
so she's not just like someone who adopted keto, but she knows all the
Yeah.
science. Dr. Paul Mason, I really don't need to introduce.
No, I'm excited to see your interview with him, though.
Yeah, that was also great, and we were in a little bit of a time bind. So at the end, it almost sounds like I'm cutting him off, but he said I have to leave because I have to catch the plane. So I had to kind of like, oh, right,
Oh,
that's it then. Blah blah blah. I didn't cut him off. It's he wanted to. So then there's Dr. Daryl Joffrey. I don't know him.
know that name. Chiropractor. I'm looking. Sorry, guys. It's really small on my screen. Chiropractor, health coach, celebrity nutritionist, and
Well, he
alchemind.
looks healthy. So
He does look healthy, but nutritionist to the celebrities. Now, as long as he's pitching some keto, I'm good with that.
yeah. And then Dr. Nina Teicholz. And the funny thing is,
Yeah.
not everyone knows she's a doctor.
Well, that's because it was so cool that she was given that honorary, but she did it because of like
No, it wasn't
there are two
honorary. She went
it well,
to the Reading University, and you would think Reading University, like do they do comic books? No, it's actually it's a place in the UK. And she did go there and she did her thesis, whatever, and then she earned her PhD. So that's not just like some honorary stuff.
but she did it through academic writing versus taking a bunch of courses. She
Yes, but
proved her PhD status through
yes,
writing, from
yes,
what I
but
understand.
yeah, but I still think that's earning it because it's kind of like challenging an exam. You can go through all the
Yes.
courses and then challenge an exam. In the end,
Mm.
you're qualified, right?
Yep.
So
Yep.
I love it that she has the title now.
Yep.
Rich
It's
Holman.
much
So I
deserved.
interviewed her. Yeah. And when I went through the interview, it was really interesting because there was a lot of good information in there. I'm just going to share one. Did you know
Okay.
that in America, it is not like whole milk is
Yep.
banned from schools, from school lunches? You
Yes.
cannot sell whole milk at school.
Yep.
But there's no cap on sugar. No,
There is now.
none.
There is now. There's a
Okay,
cap on some of it now, and that was more recent. but there's
How
a cap
recent?
on the amount of sugar. It's within the last year that they've decided
Oh,
to
no,
start
that is a
doing this.
recommendation for the dietary guidelines. That's something else. There's no cap on school lunches, sugar in school lunches.
I thought there was.
So you can sell low-fat or no-fat chocolate or strawberry-flavored milk, skim milk, yay.
Ew.
But you
Skim
cannot
milk.
sell whole milk. And I like if they get anxious about raw milk, um, I don't know. I drank it as a kid,
It's
and
illegal in North Carolina to sell raw
yeah,
milk.
it's illegal in places, but like whole milk,
Yep.
not. Eh, and the way they get around it is they are giving it away for free, but they cannot put it where the other milk is because they want kids to be able to purchase um, low-fat milk, skim milk, and almond milk. Ugh.
Ew.
Ew, right. So Rich Holman, I have not seen him yet. Dr. Joy
Killing you
Jacobs, Dr. Stephen
softly.
Sidoroff, and Tracy McBeath.
I don't
Tracy
I don't know
McBeath,
these ones.
she is also with Nutrition Network, and
Okay.
she did a TED Talk once. So if you Google Tracy McBeath TED Talk, watch it.
Mhm.
It's worth every minute of it. She is
Writing it down.
motivational. Well, she says like the secret to lasting change, closing the knowing doing gap. So like what you know and what you do is two things, right? And how
Yep.
to do that. And she gives a step-by-step guide how to do that. And most people I talked to were presentations, were
Mhm.
interview style, and she did a presentation, and I was just blown away. I've seen a lot of her stuff already because she was also one of the lecturers for the Nutrition Network Coach Practitioner course. But
Okay.
this you're gonna love this if you watch it. Day 8, there we
Okay.
go. So Dr. Richard Johnson, I didn't talk to him, but I'm reading his book now. It's called
Okay.
Nature Wants Us to Be Fat. Super interesting. I'm learning so much. Dr. Philip Ovadia, he wrote a book. It's called Stay Off My Operating Table. I talked to him.
Yep.
And Dr. Mia Scott Barrett, I didn't talk to her. The next 3 I didn't talk to, but there's Brian. Oh, he's awesome.
He is. He was on the low carb cruise, and he and his he and his wife were just two very delightful people. Very
Yes,
delightful.
yes. And I noticed too that most people in the low carb space are just genuinely balanced, well-balanced people.
I've
Most people.
noticed a lot of trends in the low carb space, and that's pretty interesting. But I'm not gonna
But
speak on them because some of them are political,
yeah,
so
I know, like
I'm
some
just
of
gonna
them
leave that
really
one.
off the rails, and we're gonna cap it there. But I think
Yep.
everyone wants to distance themselves from that kind of behavior. So Dr. William
Yep.
Davis, he was the next 3 were on my interviewees. Dr. William Davis, Dr. Tony Hampton, and Dr. Adrian Sotomotor. I'm
Mhm.
going to start with Dr. William Davis. He talks about the gut
Yep.
microbiome, of course. And after we were finished with the interview, he said, but did you know this? And we just started talking, and that was so interesting. I loved it. He's really, like, he's a nice person, a kind person. Dr. Tony Hampton, he's probably one of the kindest.
He was also in the low carb cruise. Him and his wife were absolutely fantastic, just very fun,
Yes, his wife
vibrant
Karan
people.
is like, she's amazing.
They're so vibrant. Like, you can't be around Dr. Hampton or his wife and not be smiling and laughing and happy. So if you don't follow Hampton and his wife, you are just go do it because
Yeah.
they
And
make you
what I love about
smile.
Dr. Tony Hampton, and like when I say Dr. Tony Hampton, I call him Tony because we are friends. And
Yep.
he looks at patients not as a number of symptoms. He looks at the
Mhm.
patient and then he sees their struggles too. So he doesn't only find
Yeah.
solutions for how to lower blood sugar, but he also says, let's see, a person doesn't have mobility, and this is why that person can't buy this or that, or only has access to this and that. And then he works around that.
Mhm.
So he's much, much, much more than just a doctor. And his wife
Yeah.
is type 1 diabetic. So there's
Yep.
also a lot of going on there. And Dr. Adrian
So much
Soromora,
knowledge, yeah.
oh
I
yeah.
really I really want to talk to him at some point in time, Dr. Sotomoda.
So he is an MD and a PhD. One of like
Yes.
those super smart people. Like you have the smart people, and then you have the like out of the world like smart people, and that's one of them. And that he's one of
He's
them.
part of the triple threat triad. Dave Feldman, Nick Norwitz, and Dr. Sotomoda.
Yeah,
So it's the triple threat right there. So
the triple threat,
you
and
never
it's
want to
so
debate
good.
them.
It
Yeah.
you would just like lose up. Anyway, so
Yeah.
he wrote a blog, or he
Yep.
wrote a tweet about erythritol. And I saw that tweet and I asked him, like, can I use that for my blog? And he said, yeah, sure, okay. And then later he told me he just wrote it because he was bored. And it was so interesting. And it really threw a wrench into many influencers who said, oh, erythritol, they're just putting that down because it's a keto thing. And like, there's no way they did it in mice, and no one had erythritol or consumed erythritol. But like most people didn't understand that that was 7 separate studies that they then put together. First, they observed that people with higher erythritol levels are more likely to get a heart, I think, a cardiovascular event. Don't quote me on
Mhm.
that, but something. So they observed
Mhm.
that. That was during a time where erythritol wasn't even on the market. Like it wasn't in drinks, it wasn't available to sweeten.
Mm.
But they noticed there was a connection. So they said, okay, if a person has more erythritol and that person has a lesion in the arteries, like what does it do? And then they took, obviously,
Mhm.
not humans, but mice, and they caused a lesion, and the mice with more erythritol, their blood clotted more. So there was a
Interesting.
mechanistic thing. And then they said, okay, if we give people erythritol, how long does it stay in the blood? And what would you think if you drink a monster drink? How long does that erythritol stay in your blood system, like in your body?
I don't know.
7 days,
That's
one drink.
crazy.
I know it's crazy. Like glucose goes up and down, um, or like up and slower down if you're sick, but erythritol is there for 7 days, and then it goes slowly down.
So when are we going to have a erythritol test that we test people regularly their blood, because our bodies make it. People don't
Our
understand
bodies
that
make it too. That's endogenous
yes,
erythritol. That's right, and that's
yes.
how they
So
found out about that.
I just
I'm
would like
just
to know, when are we going to start testing it?
I don't know if that is necessary. I don't know. The only thing is, and Adrian didn't say, you can't have erythritol anymore. He didn't say that, but he said there's
Mhm,
concern. And then everyone can decide for themselves. Read my blog. It's on my website,
mhm.
reversing-insulin-resistance.com. And on the landing page, there's a few of my favorite blogs. And I think his one is the first one. Read it and make up your mind. Don't listen to the influencers. The funny thing was, I heard a lot of them like just shitting on these studies. And then Dr. Berry came out and said, well, actually, there's reason for concern. And I said, no, oh no, he got
Yeah.
it wrong. Every time he gets everything right, this time he got it wrong. And he was right.
No, he's right.
He
Mhm.
was right. Well, Stephen
Oh,
Hussey,
you had Dr. Stephen Hussey.
Hussey, yeah. Yes, I didn't
Huh?
talk to him. I
It
didn't
might be
talk to,
Hussey. I don't know how to say it.
I have no idea.
No, but
Um,
I follow him. Like, he's very smart. So if people don't know anything about him and you want to look him up, he had a heart attack. Like, he's very young, and he was very young when he had his first heart attack. I don't know if he's had anything subsequent, but um it was not because of like, oh, I have, a whole crap ton of clogged arteries. I think there was a
Betsy is
congenital
here
thing that
too.
was going
Hey,
on.
Betsy.
Hi, Betsy. Yeah, so there was a congenital, I think, thing that went on with him, and, so he just went into yeah,
It
he just
often
sort
takes
of, like, jumped into it.
a personal mishap or anything happening to yourself
Mhm.
to then go and study this. And that's what I
Yeah.
always call the silver lining. Because I could say, well, I had NASH, I had GERD, I had stage 3A kidney disease, I had type 2 diabetes. I was really sick, really, really
Mhm.
sick.
Yeah.
And I didn't really cause it. Like there were lots of things influencing that. There's some permanent damage. But my silver lining now is that I get to help other people because I understand the struggle.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tia Reid, she
Oh, you
is.
you sk you skipped Sarah, Dr.
Oh,
Sarah
Sarah. Yeah,
Michael.
yeah, I just said I didn't know her. But I'm
Oh, I
I'm
didn't hear
I'm
that. Sorry, my
curious,
bad.
yeah, about thyroid and metabolic health because the thyroid thing is like one of the things I can't quite close in on. I think my
It's super
thyroid is
fascinating.
yeah. So my thyroid is I did this one test like and he said like, did you know you have thyroid problems? He scanned it and he said, yeah, I know. I don't think it makes anything. And he said, no, it looks like mush. So whatever it is, it's kind of non-existing. It's dissolved. But like I had on antibodies for a long time, crazy high, like over 2,000, where they don't measure. It's just that they just say
Oh,
above.
so on my the highest one I think that I ever had was either between 13 and 1,600, but that's when I went to a lab that could actually count it that high. So now all the labs at LabCorp, they just like, "Oh, you're over 600. We don't go past that." I'm like, "Well, that's fun." So I
Oh,
can't
my
tell
lab
if my
core went to 2,250, and it was
mine
above that.
didn't.
But that was
Yeah,
for
mine
one
didn't.
of the antibodies. The other antibody is a different range. Anyway,
Yeah.
so Thierry, she's one of my
I
besties.
did not I did not know that she is in Dr. Barry's community.
Oh, yes, she is. She's
I
also
did
one
not
of the
know that.
for Dr. Cho.
Yes, she is.
And she was my co-speaker at Low Carb for Better
Mhm.
Health. We both talked about
Yep.
food addiction, so we were both like mentioned for or we talked one after the other, but it was one time slot, and then we did the Q&A together. So
Oh, nice.
that was amazing.
I
So
hope to meet her one day.
I talked to her, and she did a presentation, and then these two, I I don't know
Dr.
them.
Lat Shahril Mansour, PhD in physiology, anatomy, and genetics. Ooh, genetics. The power of ketones to fuel the body and brain and optimize
Biotechnology,
human performance. I like that.
yes,
Yeah. Bachelor's of Science in Biotech. Nice. Dr. Venus Ramos,
Ramos.
rehabilitation physician. I love the last name Ramos. It's so fun to say.
Yeah.
Celebrity fitness trainer and assistant clinical professor. Oh, I like it.
So then there are the sponsors, obviously. BiotiQuest.
I'm gonna have to
Um,
look into the keto brains.
oh yeah, 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 do. I actually maybe I can look up do I have I think I have a discount code. It's not a code that gives me money. It's not like an affiliate link, but it is a discount code.
Mm,
So I
okay.
can put that in the show notes after we're done. So there's an all new feature summit streaming package. Get instant lifetime access to all 50 videos on your private YouTube channel. Watch any speaker you want anytime on your big screen, blah, 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 blah. And then you get like
Mm.
free access to oh no, that's more expensive. Wait a second. I'm gonna go back up,
Well,
but
there's a couple of streaming packages.
yeah. Okay, watch anytime. I think it's $97 for just the streaming. And that includes, I
Okay.
think, like little audiobooks, summit ebooks.
Okay.
And then there's this there's a Kick Sugar boot camp right after. It's 28 days, and that's $397. That's
The
pretty intense,
value is
actually.
$397. So yeah.
The value is $397. Okay, like what's the price then for everything?
Click on it and find out. Act like you're going to sign up for us. So click to learn more.
Mm-hmm.
When you purchase a package, you have
Two
two
options.
options.
Oh, there's the
So the gold.
$97. Okay. Yeah,
Okay.
the gold. You have lifetime access, the transcripts, the summary ebooks, the downloads for audio,
Mhm.
and online streaming via private YouTube channel. So basically, you have access to all the talks, and you can listen to them,
Okay.
or you can watch them. That's for $97. That's actually a good deal.
It's a good
And then
price.
the VIP packages, VIP
Oh, the
packages.
VIP.
Yeah, that's. Can you say both VIP and VIP? No, you don't
I
say
don't know.
VIP, right?
I always say VIP because it's
It's
very
VIP.
important person.
All right. So everyone
Yeah.
watching, my native language is German, and sometimes I just never learn certain things.
The
Next time, I'm
English likes
probably still gonna say
acronyms.
VIP. Yeah.
We like
So,
acronyms.
it's the Sugar Boot Camp, the Proper Human Diet Guidebook, 5 ways you can use nutrition. Oh, that's the gifts. Some speakers have gifts,
Oh, yes. I
and
love
so
this.
that's
Okay, so just a FYI, the Proper Human Diet Guidebook, if that's the same one he offers on his website, it says value is $79. It's free on his website. Shh.
so
I've already got the
Kickstarter,
protein sparing modified fast book.
Food Addiction, the full story, Keto
I don't know
Adapted
if I
by
have the
Maria
keto
Emerald.
adapted book. I might have that one too. I think I've got almost
Steps to
all her books.
Remission, 50 facts that will say, and that like Dr. Boss says something.
Oh,
So
Dr.
there's like
Bos's, yeah.
different gifts that you receive.
Oh, I love it. There's a lot of good books in there, guys.
Oh, there's actually a lot.
Ooh, a blood work cheat sheet might be nice.
Yes, Mike Mutual.
I'd have to evaluate it though. No offense.
Dr. Ovadia,
Anybody.
21 Ditch the Sugar Challenge.
Oh, you get guys, so 3 months of premium access to Dr. Tro's app. That is gold, y'all. That is gold.
Yeah. 50% off on Thrive Time membership group. Oh, she has a group. I haven't joined it,
does?
but I heard really good things
Oh,
about
Tracy
it.
McBeef.
Yeah.
Ooh,
2
and look
months
at that,
free
30%
subscription,
off of
Unsettled
Ketone
Science.
IQ.
This is also great. Nina Teicholz, she writes a lot.
Oh, nice.
Ketone
So
IQ.
30% off of Ketone IQ is actually really good,
So with that,
by the way.
you get the for 197, you get all the gifts and the lifetime access, and then the boot camp.
That is great. So the
Deadline
deadline to
is
purchase
19
is
days.
Monday, October 14th.
Yeah, but that's the deadline to
It is
purchase.
worth
But
it.
it's after it's finished, like the summit.
Yeah. I think
And
that
then
it's
there's like,
definitely
yeah,
you
you
can
can
do
go
it for
through the,
free and I start school next week and then I'll be at Keto Palooza. Yeah,
and I'm in Germany. Oh.
I know. So, yeah, so it's fun. But Keto
All
Palooza is
right.
going to be fun. If you're going to be at Keto Palooza, please come by and say hi. You'll see me bouncing around. My children are going with me, guys.
Your children are
A
going with you
little
to
nervous.
Palooza?
They
That's awesome.
are. So they'll get to meet Dr. Barry and Nisha and the crew, and they'll get to meet Alyssa because Alyssa will be there. Hopefully, and Alyssa will be there. I know she still plans on being there.
Before the baby comes.
Before the baby, because she'll be like 8 months. She'll be very
Ooh.
close. Yeah, she's pushing it. She's pushing it. So
Maybe
so
it
pray for
will
her.
be a Louisville, Kentucky baby then.
Maybe. I
No.
hope not. I hope none of us have to catch a baby at Keto Palooza.
Hey,
I mean, I'll
Terry's
do what
there
I
too.
can, but I haven't caught a baby before. So, but Nisha was a labor and delivery nurse.
That's right.
And then you got Dr. Barry's family practice. They get taught.
He's going to sign the
She's
birth
golden.
certificate.
It'll be golden. It'll be great, you know. But no, who else is going? Marsha, Coach Marsha's going to be there. So
Yeah, I've seen her
yeah,
in San Diego one year. She's fun.
I have not met her, so I'm excited to meet her in person. I've met Paula and Teresa in person, and not met
I've not met
Neil in
Teresa.
person.
I've not met Neil,
She's
and I've not
lovely.
met Kevin.
I haven't met Kevin either, not in person. Of course, I went on low carb cruise with Mitzi, so we were cabbies. We were roomies.
Oh, I was roomies with Paola, so that was fun.
Well, it was really cool being roomies with Mitzi because we were both early to bedders, like early to bed, early to rise. So like we didn't conflict. We're like, oh, look, it is 8 o'clock. Time to start winding down. You know, so it was nice having somebody that was also on like adult time versus, 2 a.m. time.
So we talked about the Kick Sugar Summit, which was supposed to be
Yep.
the talk today. But
Yep.
if you have any questions, I mean, we're already like how many hours in?
Hour and 15 into it.
1 hour and 15 minutes in. If you have any questions, go ahead and ask.
Yep. Yep, we're here.
We just talk all the time.
Oh, we can. It's bad. It's bad.
I know.
Not really. It's not bad.
We should talk about calories next. And then
Oh my gosh.
I need better lighting though. Like this is and
So
how do I
I am
sound?
going back on Bart K's channel. I'm going back.
Ooh.
So one of our members posted a really interesting physiological standpoint of aerobic versus anaerobic exercise, and it's going to be interesting because I was like, you know who I can send this question to that might be able to give some insight. It was Bart K. He was like, oh, better yet. He goes, here's my Calendly. Go ahead and just book a time because we can talk about this and record it. And I was like, oh boy, he's got something to say.
I think so. And he is like also super smart. Like I think he has like
Very much so.
two PhDs.
I don't know what he's got.
I'm not certain, but he can just.
I know that he taught, I think, cellular stuff to cardiac, for cardiac.
He knows
And
all
he's probably
the pathways
the
and
mechanisms. He's really smart.
So he had this conversation with okay, I'm not going to say who, but he made some claims on Twitter, and then he said, no, that's stupid, that needs to be called out, and then he made a video about it, and then that person took his video and talked to him like how he got it wrong. And I mean, Bart was right. And so usually when he talks about these things, he talks about it that a lay person like I can like follow.
Well, I told him, I was like, man, I got to go brush up on my exercise physiology. He goes, nope. He's like, actually, the less you know about it, the easier it will be for me to teach you. And I'm like, oh.
Yeah, that's right. But like that person then thought he was going to debate Bart and just tell him like it's like this and this and this and this. And then Bart came back with like a whole different level of understanding. And all of a sudden, like the entire discussion, he was always a step ahead. It was painful to watch on one end, but also delicious. I don't know if this.
I can watch Bart K videos all day usually. And it's funny because I'm friends with him, so it's like, so we chit chat all
I just
of the time.
sometimes send him things like, you really need to take this video apart. So Laura says, I'm just going to put it on a screen. I fell off the wagon today, 2 cookies and 1 Reese's cup.
Oh, no, you didn't fall off the wagon. There's no such thing as falling off the wagon. you just unless you completely stop and, like, you just walk away, that is falling off the wagon. No, you hit a speed bump. You know what? It's okay.
Yep.
It's
I
alright.
completely
You're
agree.
good. Like,
The thing is, if this
this is
happens,
not AA.
yeah,
You did not just lose your sugar sobriety. You are fine.
yeah, there's no
Just
sugar
don't let it
sobriety.
stop you. Don't let it stop you, Laura. Just be like, "You know what? Yeah, see? Yeah, oh, Terry, thank you. I can watch Roxana and Becca all day."
All right, it's 8:20 now. How long we got? No, no, I'm kidding. I gotta go to bed soon. And actually,
Now,
Terry's
I
gonna
have a
yell
live
at me if I
tonight,
don't.
guys. I do have a live. I do have
Oh,
a
what
live
time?
tonight.
Oh,
So
probably
it
my
is 5
bedtime.
PM. Yeah, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I'm going to be speaking with a very special guest, talking about congestive heart failure. Like, this is a guy that's lost a tremendous amount of weight, was like had a lot of respiratory disease and congestive heart failure. And we're going to be talking about his carnivore journey and what has transpired with his health.
I'm gonna watch that later then. It's gonna be too late for me. But I just want to
Yep.
say one more thing to Laura. So
Yeah.
or like not to Laura specifically, but to everyone. If you decide I'm
Mhm.
gonna eat like an Oreo, and then that's kind of not a good decision. So it's usually not that decision. I'm going to do that, but it kind of happens. It's like a
Mhm.
in a weak moment, and then
Yep.
you could call it a cheat. You could call it like anything. But the thing is,
Yep.
like what Becca already said, you can just go back to eating what you wanted. It becomes more difficult, and this is what I actually want to say. If you know that you have a problem with going back on track, then you have to watch yourself that this doesn't happen. So not everyone can just like have that do that and then climb right back on track. And I'm not
Yep.
using the word vegan because there's no vegan in that case. So
I'll do like how I do like how Ellen put it.
yeah.
Or we drag you along behind us.
And yeah, so there's always the community. So when this happens, the
We
best
rope
thing
you
to
in.
do is reach out to the community. In my Facebook
Yep.
group, in Dr. Barry's group, there
Yep.
are always people online. And so
Yep.
this was also part of one of my talks.
Mhm.
It was that people in tribes usually mirror those who they want to be like. So if there's someone who's good at fishing, they follow him and learn. If
Yeah.
someone that's good at hunting, they follow him. All these things. And in our tribe, there are people who are good at low carb or good at keto or good at carnivore. And when we are immersed in this message, it kind of gives us more strength to stay on track.
Yeah.
Not that it's so difficult for most people, but
You can't see him. I've got everything
no.
blurred. My dog
Yeah, I
needs
have it blurred too because this isn't my house. So
my dog, he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna mosey over." He likes to make appearances every now and then.
yep,
So,
my dog is like
he needs a bath.
6,000
He feels
kilometers
greasy.
away. Yeah, so
If we stop and lift
there's
you
that.
back.
Every week on Thursday, I do lives or Zooms in the Dr. Berry community.
Mhm.
So for those who are
Yep.
interested, the link is in the show notes actually already because I prepared those show notes. And
Yep.
then Becca and I do regular just chats where we just record something we talk
Yeah.
about, and then that's followed by a live where people can ask about
Mhm.
it.
Yep. And I have a community too. It's really small though. Like, I have a little tiny itty bitty like baby group on Facebook. I would love people to get in there and actually like that group has been open since like the end of 2018. So it's very dead because nobody like for some reason the people that have joined are not super engaging. And I'm like, I'll put stuff in there and share things and like videos and, and tweets or whatever. And it's very dead. So if anybody wants to go over there and liven it up, I'd love for somebody to come in there and just shake up the party. Um,
Put the link in the chat.
I have a question I can't get a real satisfactory answer to. Well, all right, Nicholas,
Ask the
shoot, and
question.
we will see if we can ask it or see if we can answer it. Haha,
I hope we can.
answer it and
Well,
ask
the
it.
thing, yeah, many
Maybe.
questions. That's also the power of a community. You have a problem and you can't think of a solution, and then you tell it to someone, and then someone else says, well, that's easy, you'll just do that. And then you say, oh, right, yeah, that works, and I can do that. So yes, please, there, okay. How does one gain weight intentionally while maintaining high level of keto? So my favorite topic, calories. No, it's not calories.
Oh boy.
The body takes chemical energy from food and turns it into ATP. So there's this guy on Twitter who intentionally eats extra calories. Each week he ups his calories by 500. I think he's now at 4,500 every day. He's not increasing his exercise regime. So he's overeating on purpose and he's not gaining weight. I think it's difficult to gain weight. Your body has probably also please let me know like how much you're thinking about. Like is it 2 pounds, is it 10 pounds, or are you like severely underweight? If you are severely underweight, I would think, okay, first off, we are not doctors, we can't treat, we can't diagnose. Everything here is for educational purposes. If you're severely overweight, I would think that you have an absorption problem and that needs to be checked out. For some reason, you're not absorbing the nutrients you're eating. You
Well,
can
you gotta
overeat,
understand.
which is not calories, but nutrients,
Yeah.
fat and protein. Oh,
Okay, so,
also,
but really cool, really interesting. Well, can I do you mind if I weigh in? So, uh,
you go first. I have one more
carnivore
thing.
keto carnivore keto, especially on the carnivore side, is really gonna be an optimization diet. So a lot of people, especially, like, men wanna look like Chris Hemsworth or the Hulk. Ugh, and they wanna get beefy, and they wanna have the six-pack abs. And, like, my husband would love to put on a little bit more muscle, but he's Scandinavian mutt breed. He's tiny. He's just under 5'7". He is not built to be this big, massive bodybuilder unless he wants to shoot up a whole crap ton of testosterone. The thing of it is that with your it's gonna optimize you with what your genetics is kind of predetermined that your baseline is supposed to be. He has Parkinson's. Okay, his father has Parkinson's, so we're trying therapeutic keto, 76, 5'10", 153 pounds. That's low for 5'10". Mom says he eats all he can but keeps losing and is concerned.
Yeah, the thing is
Unless
to
you can
gain
I
weight
can't
on
think of
keto.
even yeah.
To gain weight on keto, the easiest way to gain weight is to eat a lot of protein and then to lift heavy things. That way, you're going to put on muscle, and that's the
Yep.
weight you want to gain. But in that case, that's difficult. You also don't want to add a lot of fat because that's not going to make him healthier. You can add
Mm,
exogenous ketones. That's something
exogenous ketones, I
I
was
would
gonna say
I
that.
would look into.
But you
Um,
know what else I would do? You're gonna think I'm crazy, Nicholas, but if you can get him if he's not already, if you can get him into a rehabilitation program, like physical therapy, where they would work on, muscle building, that would be very beneficial too. So it like sort of a I don't want to say forced because it's kind of being a butthole, but like being like, hey, dad, we're going to take you here. They're going to work on occupational therapy. We're going to work on physical therapy and building those muscles up and building those connections back up. And then therapeutic ketones, exogenous. I am a fan of exogenous ketones. There are people in this community that will tell you really kind of crazy stuff. Like if you take exogenous ketones, you will gain weight. That is not true. Siobhan Huggins has done some studies on that too. I've seen her do stuff. BHB, but it is expensive. And it is very expensive. I do recommend right now, the one that I recommend is Ketone IQ. But it tastes like jet fuel because basically it's what it is. It's kind of like jet fuel.
What
But
about
it
audacious?
does work. Audacious are salts, so they can have a little bit of a laxative effect if you're not careful.
Okay,
Another
I'm not
brand
getting
on the
I
market,
take, but there's also, you can also use MCT oil that's then
you
converted
can.
to ketones. And this is where maybe
Yes.
the nootropics come in, the keto brains.
Yes. And yeah, the nootropics wouldn't hurt either.
You talk,
Um,
and I'm gonna get the bags.
Suggested dairy. Well, the dairy, if you're gonna do dairy, um, extremely hard cheeses, Parmesan, Romano is not super hard, but it's a lower carb one. Extremely hard aged cheddar is really good. The only thing about it is it's very addicting. I can slam a brick of what is it? Dubliner. I could slam a whole brick of it.
I'm back. So the thing is, it doesn't
Yep.
matter whether it's addictive or not, because if he eats more, he'll gain more weight.
Well, yes, true.
So there's
Yep.
if you gain weight,
He
the
does
possibility is
boxing.
always there that you gain fat weight, and to
Yep.
counteract that, because that it doesn't serve him
He needs
any.
to gain muscle weight, which
But
takes
if his
a
if
very
his
long time.
like, let's say his BMI is 19 or 18, then he needs to gain fat too,
Yeah.
right? So this is the
Yep.
nootropics, and it has alpha GPC is regarded as one of the most effective brain nutrients in the world. It's popular for its focus and cognition enhancing benefits, but it's also a not so secret weapon used by athletes, bodybuilders, and fitness enthusiasts. So that's alpha GPC. Then lion's mane mushroom supports brain health by stimulating production of NGF and, I really need glasses, RDNF. Think of BDNF as the miracle grow of the brain, essentially fertilizing brain cells to keep them functioning and growing, as well as stimulating the growth of new neurons. L-theanine.
You're gonna I'm wondering about I need to send a message to Bart K. I'm wondering if the stem cells that we
Oh,
use.
yeah, maybe. But that's also expensive. And if
It's
money
very
is an
expensive.
issue, yeah.
Yeah.
So L-theanine
But
is
I think
an,
some of these things though you can buy if they have
Rita,
a
let me
HSA fund.
finish.
Sorry.
Okay. It's just two more. L-theanine is an amino acid that works to increase GABA, a neurotransmitter which
Yep.
produces a calming effect in the brain and triggers the release of alpha brain waves to bring about more relaxation, creativity, and focus. The interesting thing was she
Yep.
mentioned that in the talk that GABA, if you take it as a pill, it doesn't go into the brain. So the brain is still fully focused while the rest of the body is calming down. And then you have trouble sleeping. I didn't know that. I thought it was interesting. So this would be like a better thing to do. And then MCT is converted into ketones in the liver. These ketones then cross the blood-brain barrier to quickly supply your brain with fuel. MCTs have also been shown to enhance exercise endurance through the increased
Yep.
mitochondrial biogenesis and metabolism. Okay, I'm done. So I think like
Yep.
this would be maybe an option.
A
I'm going to
a
post.
nootropic.
I'm going to add the discount code to the show notes. Again, it's not an affiliate
Yep.
link. I'm not earning anything from it. It's just a discount code for people who use it. I think they get 15% off. Oh, here. And Nicholas wrote, they get worried with too much protein or dairy knocking keto down. Yeah. So test it. See, like you
Yeah.
can tease it out. You can buy a Keto Mojo, and then you test the
Mhm.
ketones and test them at night, like before bedtime. That's usually when mine are highest. Mine are not highest in the morning, even though I fasted overnight. So
And nobody's is supposed to be high. It shouldn't be highest in the morning, according to Dr. Bella Cooper.
yeah, it makes sense too, because in the
Yep.
morning you have the dawn phenomenon that will knock down the ketones. So try that, test the ketones and see
Audacious
how
is
much
one
cheese you
brand.
can get away with. And maybe nuts. I don't know. Like I would not recommend a fruit unless he needs to gain fat.
Yeah. Well,
If he needs
I
to
gave
gain
him
fat,
he asked
then
about
fruit.
which ketones. I put the Audacious and the Ketone IQ. There's another brand that tastes better, but they're really expensive too, and it's B Kinetic. I think it's how you spell it. Or just Kinetic.
Trying to see if I have one here.
I get them on Amazon. Let me see.
No.
Now I've got to go
Yeah,
look for
just okay.
something.
Now you run off, and I stay here.
No.
Hey everyone! Now we can make fun of Becca because she isn't here.
I can hear you.
Okay, but yeah. So I use Audacious ketones. They are made by Dominic D'Agostino, and he
Yeah.
also knows the stuff.
So here's these.
Kinetic. What's that?
Kinetic. It's a ketone drink.
Oh,
I'm
interesting.
actually gonna drink one. K Girls is laughing. Yes, Ellen, we're funny. I know. We are like the class clowns of the coaches, by the way. Just letting you know.
Oh, do you
Or at
know
least I
Kevin
am.
always tells jokes?
Yeah.
So I'm going to tell one joke. I try because I'm really bad
Okay.
at joke telling. So then an older guy walks along the beach and bumps into something, and he picks it up and turns out to be one of these genie lamps. So he rubs it, and poof, comes out a genie. And he says, "You have one wish. Your wish is my command." And he says, "Well, I'm a successful businessman. I have a lot of money. I don't really need anything, but I always wanted to visit Hawaii, but I can't fly. I can't go by boat. How about like a bridge between California and Hawaii?" And the genie said, "Oh, like, oh, it's a little much. Try another wish." And he said, "Well, I am successful and I have money, but somehow I'm not successful in relationships. I want to understand women. I want to see how they feel, how they think, because I think then I can figure out how to make a
I can know where
relationship work."
this is going.
And the genie says, "Do you want 2 or 4 lanes?" You didn't get it.
I don't get it.
Do you want 2 or 4 lanes for the bridge?
Oh, yeah. Okay, never mind. I thought he was gonna turn him into a woman. I'm like, because
No,
that
no,
would mean
no, 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 no,
you
no,
would
no.
understand.
And I wouldn't tell that. No, no, I wouldn't tell a joke like that. Sorry.
Um,
So,
his mom did the
okay,
Dr.
Carnival
Pause
Mommy
21 Day
got it.
metabolic
So
fix.
there. Nicholas got it too. Nick said, "My mom just did Dr. Boss 21 metabolic kick." I think that's one of the gifts too. I know they did
Okay,
some
so in
MCT stuff, and I think they're
MCT stuff, I have a good brand for that too.
he says, "I think they're going to try some pills. I'll discuss these other items with them." Yeah. MCT, there's like different ones, 8 and 16 or so.
Yeah, so this one has 8, 10, and 12. 12 is supposed to be good for something, which is why I got it. But this is the Natural Force. It's organic. 8, 10, and 12. It comes in a very big bottle. It's glass, so it's not plastic. It's got a stopper on it if you want a stopper, or it comes with a twist top. So I use this. I put this on Audrey's. Like, I make chicken salad for her every week for lunch, and I add that in with in the chicken salad chew. We use it to make bulletproof coffee. It will absolutely Nutiva is a good brand too. It will absolutely um, go straight to the liver and be converted to ketones. It's really good brand. I like it because it's unflavored. It's
But for
nice.
this one, this is also great for MCT
Yeah.
because it has it in a good dose. Oh yeah, that's just something that did I say that? Which Molly talked about that if you get a certain supplement. Oh no, I talked about that. It's like line main. It has to be in a therapeutic dose. You cannot just add a little bit because the therapeutic dose from the studies had this and this effect, and then you just put a little bit in, and then that little bit might be a little more, a little less. So in that regard, I completely trust that brand. Nick said he just dropped 160 himself, 6 foot tall, trying to stop the weight loss. So in general, the body has a set weight. So if you eat too much, it will make you warm and then kind of like radiate off that heat, that extra energy. If you eat too little, the body will make you cold. It will throttle down the metabolism. So it will either rev up the metabolism or throttle it down to maintain homeostasis. This is what the body is supposed to do in healthy people. If people gain too much weight or lose too much weight, then there is some sort of problem.
Yeah.
And that
Well,
will have to turn out. I would, for
yeah.
example, if you don't want
So
to lose weight, I would not do fasting.
never. And I would force yourself to do 3 meals a day. Carnivore Mommy says, "Do you find the ketones helpful?" Yes, sometimes. It depends on the day.
So
It depends on the day. So
for me, it's I talked to Dominic D'Agostino about it. What are the other benefits of ketones? Because the one thing early on in keto groups, what everyone always says, like if you take exogenous ketones, it's like going to the gym and pouring someone else's sweat over yourself. It's like you're doing not doing anything because you're not using your body's own ketones. But I have to say, if ketones have health benefits beyond just burning, that coming from fat and burning fat and then giving the body energy, if they have health benefits beyond that, adding ketones might actually be advantageous. So ketones have they protect neurons. They have like many benefits that are now being studied. They don't know why ketones do all the stuff, but they know ketones do a lot of stuff. And Dominic D'Agostino once said, keto is not the magic bullet, it is the magic shotgun. Because there's so many benefits from ketones. Personally, I take them because of inflammation, and ketones have a anti-inflammatory effect. So there's a difference between non-inflammatory and anti-inflammatory. Meat is non-inflammatory. Ketones are anti-inflammatory. So this is why I take ketones. I'm still losing weight.
Yep. First,
I'm a little puffed now
totally
because
not.
this
It's
traveling
totally not.
was really awful.
Something I did in the past couple of days inflamed my face again, and I'm like, "Grr," I'm a little grumpy. She lost 6 pounds with taking a bunch of MCT pills, though. I think now this might be just me, but and I don't believe in calories, by the way. But that I don't know how else to talk about it. You're getting so much of your energy from MCT fat, because that's fat.
Yeah, you can say energy.
That
That's
you're
fine.
probably under eating after that.
No,
Because if
no.
you take
Actually,
a whole
MCT oil, despite the energy that you get, they have a satiating effect just by themselves.
well, that's what I mean.
Despite
Like you might
energy.
be under eating.
I heard about one experiment and I forgot who did it, but she did like a pilot study with people who would not go on a diet. And all they had to
Okay.
do was take MCT. And they
Mhm.
started eating less just from taking MCT. And you'd
Yeah.
think like MCT, I mean, that's oil. That's like 9 calories, bad word, 9 calories per
I
gram.
know.
But it turns into a weight loss. Like, ooh, I'm eating fat and I'm losing fat. Like, who knew? Yeah, we know.
Yep.
So yeah, they have
I'm
they
trying to
have like
see.
lots of effects, and one of them is being satiating. So yeah, this is how this can happen. Yeah, you don't want to lose weight. You have to
Yep,
tease it out.
you do. 1.6 is the target for Parkinson's. It's actually not that high.
Yeah, to keep it that so to get the ketones up, you have not to fast longer, but you have to eat higher fat and close to zero carbs.
Yeah.
That's how you get the ketones up. You can get them temporarily up by with a longer fast, but if your
Yeah.
dad doesn't want to lose weight, I wouldn't do fasting personally.
No, adding let's see, brands of keto salts. I don't know who has the cheapest brands of ketone salts. I know
I don't know
Perfect
which.
Keto has some. Like they're just they taste horrible. Dr. Boz has some and they're supposedly taste really good.
I don't
I
think she
don't
makes them
know.
anymore.
Does she
Does
not?
she? I
I
think
thought she
not, but
did. I
I'm
could have
not
sworn I
100%
saw her
sure.
have something. I will tell you this. So these have 12 grams of ketones in it. This brand, I have gotten mine up to about 3, drinking one of these a day. And that's the same as like taking a shot of, it is a shot of the ketone IQ, which is what Dr. Sivas is the one. That's the one he promotes. Those will jump me up to about 3. It takes a couple of
But
hours, but
it's
it'll
just
jump
a
you up.
temporary thing, and then they go
It's
down.
temporary. It goes like this. It goes right
Yeah.
back down. I will say that these last longer than the salts. These last for about 5 hours versus, you know,
I'm
versus the
gonna
short spike.
jump Shari because Nick says, but I'm gonna take yours
Yep.
up in a moment. X ketones help you make more of your own ketones. Yeah, that could be. And they're not carnivore like me, but getting closer. Oh yeah, okay. They do some veg,
That's
but their
good.
carb goal is less than 20 total. Like, if you want to lose
Yep.
weight, maybe don't you want to lose weight, maybe increase your carbs a little. Um, not everyone really, not everyone has to be carnivore. Carnivore
Mhm.
can be great for some people for long term, like Michaela Peterson. She cannot touch a single plant thing,
Yep.
and or she will break out in all sorts of autoimmune diseases. But I think most people should be like ketovorish.
Yep.
So like the spectrum, like most people should have some plants, and this is like how we grew up, no, how we evolved. How like 3 million years ago we started eating beef. I think Bart K says like 5 million years ago, but like pre-humans started eating meat, and that's then humans walked the plains 300,000 years ago. And but they didn't. Most people didn't just eat meat. Most people also ate fruit, and they especially in winter to fatten up. They
Yeah.
ate seeds. They ate what they could find in nature. Obviously they didn't eat breakfast cereal and bread and pasta, but they did eat carbs. So a paleo diet is probably the closest to what it comes to how humans should eat, minus all the
Yeah.
spinach and minus
Who likes spinach anyway?
minus the almonds. But I think the paleo diet even includes potatoes. So funny
Sweet
thing,
potatoes.
no, no potatoes. Funny thing
I thought
is,
it had
Dr.
I thought it
Richard
was sweet
Johnson,
potatoes.
when he first dove into this diet about low carb, he found that lowering just fructose was enough for many people to lose weight. They didn't have to do this. So yeah, you got to get ready for your other. Okay, first here
I
I
know
want to get.
I have 6 minutes. I have 6 minutes, and I gotta go pick up my daughter.
Oh, okay. Here, Shari said, I should have said what benefits do you see?
What benefits? So, energy, it's really weird. Energy,
Like a
mental
coffee without
clarity,
the jitter.
yes. So, I would take either a ketone IQ or drink one of these right before I took a pathophysiology test, and I swear my brain worked better. Like, yeah.
I mean, my son, he was like 10 and he was in a taekwondo tournament and his blood sugar dove down. So he had to take some glucose tablets. And then he went into a fight against a girl that was better than him. She was from the same club and he won. So I kind of felt like almost I doped him, but I didn't because I just gave him glucose. Point being, that glucose gave him an extra boost. His sugar was
Mhm.
low, so he needed that boost, and in that moment, his brain was working better. And I think yes, ketones do the same. Usually before I head into a life, this now is electrolytes. It's actually not element; it was salty that I had in there. But usually before I go into live or an interview, I have a drink of audacious ketones with me.
Mhm. And I'm
So
sort of
you
testing out
benefit.
another I'm testing out another brand too. I'm just, you know,
And it may be anti-inflammatory. I cannot tell for sure because my autoimmune is not
I
under
can't tell
control.
for yeah, I 'cause so one of my autoimmunes is under control, but my Hashi's isn't. But I will tell you this. So I went, oh my gosh. So I went probably 3 or 4 days without having uh ketones. And today's the first day I just like decided to open this one up. We'll see what happens. But my thyroid, I can feel it. Like you can actually see right here where it's a little bit inflamed on me. Um, More inflamed than usual. So my
Okay, I
and
still
I
have
can
a lot
feel
of
it when I
fat here, so I
swallow.
can't see it
N
on me.
Well, I can feel it, and I can feel it, like I can feel my thyroid, and so that means it's inflamed, and when I swallow, I can feel it when I swallow, and I haven't had ketones for a few days, so if I do this and by the end of this evening, it's like, "Oh my gosh, now my thyroid, I don't feel it when I swallow," it'll be pretty cool, but then I'll have to cry because they're expensive.
You should not have them
My
for a
we are
week
testing
and then try
we are
them.
testing them on my daughter too. My daughter's anxiety is much better when she takes a shot of ketones before going to school.
Is my audio loud enough?
It's great. I know that mine
Okay,
has been really off. There's something wrong with my earbuds, I think.
I can hear you fine. So one more thing here. Nick said, I'm coming
Yep.
up on a year, and I just love carnivore so much. I wanted to last a full year, but I don't really feel like adding anything. So not sure what I'm gonna adjust to. I think just listen to your body. See, there's people who've been on carnivore for 3 years, and then all of a sudden they think like,
Thanks, Alan.
I need a salad. Or they
Yep.
think, I could go for some Brussels sprouts, like something I would never eat. But they could be just drawn to something, and that is
Yep.
sometimes indicates something the body craves or needs, like some
Yep.
mineral, some vitamin that you're not getting enough of.
Every now and then, that's me with asparagus. I know it sounds
Thank you,
weird.
Ellen.
It sounds weird, but asparagus and,
Well, that makes
squash,
the pea stink.
zucchini. I used to be able to smell it. This is weird. Okay, so ever since having COVID in July of last year, since then, I cannot smell it in my pee anymore. I used to be one of those people that could smell it,
Oh,
and,
interesting.
like,
Maybe
Yeah,
you
I
lost
can't smell it.
that one sense.
Well, that's genetic.
So there's this one, is it irregular? It's
Arugula?
arugula. Arugula. Some people love it, some people hate it.
I thought you were talking about cilantro, or maybe you're talking about cilantro.
Is it cilantro
It's
or arugula?
cilantro. Some people like, it tastes like soap to me. It's very
Oh yeah,
soapy.
that one. And did you
It's
know
cilantro.
that's a genetic adaptation?
It it is.
And those who like it are the ones, I don't know which ones are advanced. Those who like it or those who don't. I think
I
those
don't
who
know. My
like it
husband loves it.
are the mutants.
Yeah, my husband likes it, so he's a mutant.
Yep.
So Nicholas says he just wants the junk food. No cravings now, but you miss Oreos and gummy bears and junk. Um, you can make your own gummy bears if you like really want to, out of like Element, and then as long as you're okay with citric acid, like you can make your own gummy bears and then roll them in citric acid. It's
I
gummy
make
bears.
my own,
And it
but
won't
I
make you
actually
poop.
don't roll them. I just put the citric acid right. No, actually, I don't use citric acid. I only use ascorbic acid.
If you roll them in citric acid, it's like eating like the
Sour
sour
Patch.
gummy worms. No,
Well,
I
they
don't
are.
ever put that much.
No, they're sour anyway. I have them on my website. Go to reversing-insulin-resistance.com and find what to eat, and there are recipes. And one is for sour gummies, and you can put them in gummy bear form, or you can be done with that and just put them in bigger forms. And
Yeah.
it's like finger jello. So I make regular jello, but instead of using the store bought, I use gelatin and I use blueberry powder and strawberry powder or raspberry powder. And then instead of making the whole thing like with water, I make them in half the water, and then I add
Yeah.
half cream. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
and the
you can do
ascorbic
that.
acid, so vitamin C,
Yep.
and that makes them a little. And then once they set, it's like or some sweetener also. It needs a little sweetener. I would use allulose. I used to
Yeah.
use erythritol. It's like finger jello. It's not as chewy as gummy bears, but it's really good.
Yeah.
I don't feel motivated enough to do them anymore. You got to go, right?
Yep. I
All
do.
right.
I gotta go pick up my daughter or she'll panic. She'll be like, "Where are you, Mom? You didn't come pick me up." She's delightful.
Let's
Yeah.
call this a
So if
night.
anybody's yeah, a night. Well, it's an afternoon for
Well, for
us
me,
East
it's now
Coasters.
9 p.m. So for me, it's now
Yep.
bedtime. Let's call it a night, and and let's do this again. And I hope that we'll be able to
Absolutely.
reschedule the Dr. Berry interview before
Yeah.
it starts. And
Yeah.
alrighty,
Yep. And come join me
bye.
tonight on my channel, guys. If you haven't subscribed to me, just pop over to my YouTube, hit that, and you'll see the live come up tonight at what's this afternoon at 5 o'clock.
Yeah, hang on just a second, and then I put it in the show notes. You put it
Yep.
in the chat, but I also put it in the show notes.
Okay.
Send it to me. All right, bye bye.
Yes. Bye.